So Kimsia asked why I moved my personal site, to put the question bluntly, why I moved my personal site to a software stack that's completely ill-suited for it. So this is Circle, and my personal site is now on it. People show up and it's like, hey, this is my site. The old site is still archived, like it's there. This is what it used to be. It was like a normal landing page, and I sort of deleted it and moved it here. And so Kim Sia was wondering, like, what's the deal? Why'd you do this? And there's a couple reasons, and maybe it's useful for other creators. So partly, I wanted a place where I felt okay to share stuff that wasn't finished. I've been making books for a while, and with a book, you spend a year or two, and you test it, you beta read it, you polish it, you take every little confusion and unjustified claim out of it, right? Because you've got the financial and the reputational rewards, assuming you make a good thing, to justify that investment. But blogging is different, or sharing work in progress is like, it's messy. I might be wrong. What am I thinking? What am I doing? I don't know. This seems exciting, but I may hugely regret it a week away from now. And I wanted a space that was framed in that way. I didn't want a broadcast channel. I wanted a place where I could put out ideas, but then people would call bullshit on it, or they would fact check me, or they'd be like, hey, this is wrong. And where it sort of felt like it was, hey, it's supposed to be rough. So I made this thing. And that actually unstuck me from 10 years of not blogging. I used to blog a lot, and I had this old site, the Startup Toolkit. It got relatively successful. It was on Hacker News front page a lot. We had thousands of email subscribers and a bunch more RSS subscribers, and I was like, yeah, it's working. And then two things happened. One, I felt that my reputation had outgrown my own ability, and that made me uncomfortable. I thought, like, man, I want to be able to put out messy ideas. I'm not that confident. And it got to a place where I didn't understand it and I couldn't control it. So that slowed me down. And then secondly, my interests changed. So all of the advice about setting up a blog, a newsletter, whatever, is like, start with your customer segment, start with your value proposition, deliver on that, don't deviate. And I wanted to follow that. It makes sense. I believe it. It is true, and it is optimal. And so I was like, the Startup Toolkit, this is my old site, the crucial tools and knowledge for early stage entrepreneurship. And it was great fun to create it. I wrote hundreds of articles because that's what I was thinking about. That's what I was excited by. That's where my heart and my mind were. But then I got past the early stage stuff in my own career. And so then I'm looking at this blog and these, thousands of subscribers and all of this stuff. And I know I was still playing the baby game, but it was a lot of people for me at that stage. And I was like, what do I do? I no longer care. Like, my interests have moved beyond the early stage stuff. I'm now interested in the edge cases. I'm interested in the cultural questions. I'm interested in like the day-to-day life experience, all these things that fit outside of the original scope. So I looked at it and I'm like, well, I could just start writing about stuff I'm interested in now, but that felt like breaking the promise that people had signed up for, and that made me uncomfortable too. And truthfully, I couldn't have handled this better, but I didn't know how to reconcile it, so I just deleted the entire mailing list. It's a valuable asset. I just woke up one morning, I just deleted it. I don't even have the emails anymore. And then a couple years later, I deleted the entire site. It is no longer there. But I missed putting myself out there. I'm not saying that I should have deleted it. I'm saying that I was in a place where I didn't know how to reconcile my values and my interests and the way I wanted a site to message me with the type of site I had created. So I felt like myself and my website were in conflict rather than in harmony. The way I decided to resolve that was by deleting it all and starting from scratch. But I didn't start from scratch because I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to remake the same mistakes. So I like this. I like the idea that by using community software, I'm sort of saying like, hey, this is a thing. Like, talk to me. Like, let's go. I like the idea that it was pretty easy to set up. You know, it's been pleasant. But also from a business model perspective, so this little premium section is invisible to everyone except for me right now because I haven't finished releasing it. But I also see this as starting to build like a long-term asset. When I start working on my next book, I'm going to do early access through this site, and that will be a paid subscription on my site. Instead of building courses on external places like Udemy, I'm going to build my courses here if anything ever catches my interest enough to justify wanting to make a premium course about it. This feels like also a way, in addition to making it more clear that this is a messy work in progress, it also feels like a way to bring my work off of the platforms and back to something I control. Yeah, Circle is still a platform. I get that. Like, yeah, they're not the best content management system in the world. Yeah, I'm like double and triple backing up my content because I've lost some posts and lost some stuff that I worked hard on. Like, I get all that. But what it gives me is the positioning that allows me to feel comfortable sharing my thoughts in progress and taking feedback and taking ideas. Super new. There's like 40 people subscribed to this site, right? It is not a big deal, but it's already been such a blast. I feel so much more connected. It feels so different from email. And being able to do little things, like I set up these like Q&A events. It's like, hey, like every Wednesday, there's like, I'm just going to be there on Zoom. Sign up. Let's chat. Like the ability to bring in the premium stuff, the early... I really like it. And then also, that was the main stuff. But the other piece is I'm just trying really hard to learn about community. My business right now is an outcome-oriented community. And this is a different type of community. This is like a content-focused community. It's like, hey, mostly it's me writing. But like also, like we can talk around the stuff that this being written. This one doesn't have an outcome. It's very different from my business community. And community just feels like such an important thing to understand that I love the idea of it's ticking a lot of boxes for me. I get to put my ideas out there. I get to get feedback. I get to present myself in a way that feels honest to me. I get to recover my assets from the platform. And I also get to understand this important business trend that I think is really going to matter for the future. So that's why I did it. I'm not saying this is right for everyone, but that was my thought process in why I made this move. So, Kim Sia asked, I got to answer the questions. That's the deal. You ask a question, I will try my best to answer it. So that was my take. All right.